Hey, cinema community, we're here at our local AMC. Just got done seeing the movie Transformers 1 in Dolby. This is our extended review. Rebecca, what'd you think?
I think this is a lot better than I was expecting. Kids' movies, especially prequels on pre-existing properties, are tough nuts to crack. You either leave one section of the audience sorely disappointed and one section of the audience like loving it.
It's time to show them we are more than meets the eye.
This being said, I think the adults are gonna have fun as well as the kids. There's one guy, he was telling his kids all about the different bots and stuff, and I actually recognized a lot more bots than I thought that I would.
Look, that's Starscream, and you're Shockwave, and Soundwave. Enough! Gosh, raise your hand if Wave is in your name. There's a lot of Wave.
This movie obviously is a long-standing franchise. Animated, live action. I don't know every single bot, but I found myself engaged right at the beginning. The story that they told, in my mind, could be a standalone film.
For thousands of years, we have been at war. But before, we were enemies. We were like brothers.
This movie isn't entirely referential. Yes, there are some winks and pokes and nods, which I think adds to the movie.
A cave with teeth. Nothing scary about that.
Not taking itself too seriously at points and kind of losing its audience in the process that way.
I think this movie had a really solid cast, meaning you're gonna know the actors and actresses.
Chris Hemsworth isn't Peter Cullen.
We roll out.
What?
Louder.
Transform and roll out!
But he does kind of give a really solid attempt at it.
The story was pretty predictable. If you're an adult, you're gonna go in, you're gonna go, I kind of know where they're going. That being said, the pace was pretty quick. I don't know if they hit quite the Goldilocks time where it's just perfect, but it was pretty close.
And if you know some of the relationships between the bots and different canons, yeah, there's some twists and turns that you might not see coming. Sure, the broad strokes, we all know. But I love the fact that they tried to make something different with this.
This movie felt like a lot of different movies I've seen. There's a big race scene.
On your marks! And they're off! Crazy! Sure feels like it. The Iacon 5000 has begun. This is insane!
Kind of a nod to Ready Player One. Felt a little Star Wars-y, don't want to spoil that. So I could see where they were drawing their reference points from, but again, not too distracting. I would say everything blew up a lot.
Incoming!
Felt very Michael Bay-ish.
This is actually my second time seeing the movie. I saw the movie previously with some of our team on opening night, and it was hard to keep track of some of the action, even though the color helped you kind of roughly position where the characters were at. Seeing it the second time, I was able to kind of pick out some of the sequences a little bit easier, and the frames weren't jumping as fast.
One thing that really surprised me is this movie is PG, but there was some language in there.
Hi there, I'm B127. I'm actually working on some nicknames. The one I'm floating right now is Badassatron, which is actually pronounced Badassatron.
We're gonna call you B.
I was surprised the fact that they put that in with the PG movie.
The language didn't bother me as much as Teresa. What surprised me was some of the darker themes.
Hey, Darkwing! Don't. My finger can transform. Guess which one? Allow me.
Feels like kind of mid-teens. If your kid can handle Star Wars though, they can definitely handle this movie.
To me, it was a good story. Out of the gate, I was interested. It followed the story pretty well, and the characters were pretty consistent to who you were getting to know. I like that.
I did like how the story gave you room for empathy for both sides of the perspectives that are being presented in this franchise. It's too easy sometimes in this franchise to lean towards one or the other. This balanced it pretty nicely.
This movie had a lot of action, and like I said, it was a little dizzying at different points. That being said, there was actually a lot more dialogue than I thought, and a lot of kids' movies don't really have great dialogue or don't have much. This one had both. Rebecca, what do you think? Is it worth a watch?
I think if you're interested in the premise and or you're a fan of the franchise, yes, this is worth a watch. For everybody else, it's a pretty decent kids movie.
I liked it more than I thought I would, and I don't know the franchise super super, super well. That being said, it was worth a watch, especially in the theater. Dolby, our theater was packed, and the sounds, my guess, IMAX is probably going to be a great experience too if you have the opportunity.
This has been our extended review. We want to hear from you in the comments. Team Autobots or Team Decepticons? You decide. And if you want to check out some of our other extended reviews, click the links to the right.